Think you need a massive budget to make an impact on marketing? Think again. Some of the most successful marketing campaigns started with little to no money, just creativity and smart strategy. Today, we're diving into practical, low cost marketing strategies that small businesses can use to compete with bigger brands and get real results. Whether you're a startup, a solopreneur, or a local business, this episode is packed with actionable tips to stretch your budget without sacrificing impact. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 18, where we're talking about marketing on a budget, strategies for small businesses. Now, what we're going to cover in this episode today is we're going to talk through the reality of marketing on a budget, what works and what doesn't, how to prioritize your marketing dollars effectively, free and low cost marketing strategies that actually drive results, how to leverage organic reach, partnerships, and community marketing, and real life examples of businesses that thrived with small budgets. Now, the reality of marketing on a budget is there are some challenges that come with it, right? So, first off, we need to understand what are the challenges when it comes to small business marketing. Well, we know, I know this from firsthand experience, most small businesses don't have limited funds. So every dollar spent must be intentional. And what's the biggest mistake that we find? You're trying to do everything at once and stretching yourself too thin. The key is to focus on high ROI activities where you can get the most impact for the least spend, right? That's the biggest question for all small business marketer is how do we make the largest impact with the lowest amount spent? Now, I think it's extremely important as a small business, especially of a smaller budget, you need to set realistic marketing goals. So we hear a lot of clients that come to us and they say, we want more sales, right? Or we want to increase our revenue. Instead of saying, I want more sales, we need to set specific trackable goals. So a couple examples here that we don't typically recommend, but some ideas would be, I want to increase web traffic by 20% in 3 months. Or I'd like to generate 50 leads from organic social media by the end of Q2. While we don't recommend those specific goals, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to encourage our brains to think about the overall impact and engagement of a marketing campaign, right? If we're looking at increasing web traffic by a certain amount, traditionally speaking, we're doing that because we know that the more users that come to our site, if our site is optimized and set up in the right way, the higher percentage chance that we're getting more leads from that website because now we're driving more people by traffic to the website. If the site's optimized, if we increase it by 20%, we might be able to increase our leads by a pretty good chunk of people if that number is pretty large. So again, we need to set actionable, trackable, and specific goals that aren't just ambiguous, I want more sales. Now, we know this from a lot of clients that we've talked to in the past. Small businesses often want immediate results, but the unfortunate part is sustainable growth takes time. So the thing that I'd encourage you to think about when you're looking at small business marketing is you need to focus on consistency over quick wins, because you will find within different marketing strategies, you might find that you get some quick wins, but the problem with quick wins is they are very quick and they go away very quick. And so they might drive some incremental revenue, but consistency at the end of the day is going to drive more long-term revenue than your quick wins. Now, that's not to say that you can't find ways to be consistent and then find other avenues for quick wins. But at the end of the day, you should drive your organizational priority in marketing for the long-term consistent go over very quick wins. Now, the biggest question that we can get to, traditionally speaking, from an agency perspective is how do I prioritize my marketing dollars? Because what actually matters? Now, I'm going to give you a couple ideas of where to invest first. Now, if you have, let's say, $500 or less per month, maybe $1,000 or less per month, where should that money go? First off is website and SEO. Your website is your 24/7 salesperson, so you need to make sure that's optimized. There's a lot of tools that you can use, some software subscriptions that you can get, especially if you're starting out, to understand whether your SEO is optimized, whether your website is built well. And there's a couple platforms. So traditionally speaking, when we talk to people that are on a limited budget, they need something built on their end and they need a couple of resources. We always recommend use a Squarespace website, get a subscription to SEO Space or a couple others. They're like $50 a month, sometimes a little bit cheaper. And then get something like a Hotjar where you can actually track your user behavior on your website and understand where people are going, where they're scrolling, and what they're doing. Now, the second key here, and this is obviously dropped in popularity, but it's still a big thing, is start using social media marketing. So free exposure, it requires effort, but we know that organic content plus engagement is key. Now, when we say social media marketing, we're not just saying post on your company business page. You need to start leveraging your personal brand, your personal relationships to start driving engagement to your business page. Now, we see a couple different issues with this. One, you're not posting enough about your business page on your personal Facebook. No one knows that you're getting into this. Then the other side, the other extreme is we start seeing that people are posting all the time about their business. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to alienate your existing customers or your friends or your relationships, and they're not going to engage with your personal brand as much, which is going to increase your algorithm, right? So your reach is going to go down lower. So there's a fine balance there. Now, the other piece that people like to talk about a lot, but I think it's a very underutilized tool, is email marketing. So we know that it's low cost, high conversion. And what we know is email lists are an asset that you own. Now, there's a couple aspects within email marketing that we have to be very careful. We don't need to just start rolling out emails and just start doing them. We need to be highly strategic in the content that we're putting out in email newsletters or email marketing that provides value to our users or our audience, but at the same time, maybe has some small call to actions. But what we find with a lot of businesses is they're using their email list to basically send marketing messages, and all they're saying is buy us, buy us, buy us. We need to build relationships and rapport with our audience, provide value, and encourage them to take a second look at using us. Now, the fourth part of this is there's Google Business Profile. For local businesses, it's free and can drive massive results. Highly recommend if you don't have one set up, you need to get on to Google Business Profile, look it up. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set up. It's probably the best 5 to 10 minutes you can spend setting something up. Now, the fifth piece that a lot of businesses are starting to build a little bit more awareness around is partnerships and networking. A lot of these networking groups, a lot of these spheres of influences, partnerships, they're all free or very low cost. So you can connect with other businesses and expand your reach at no cost, which provides a really big thing. Now, what to avoid on a tight budget? Here's a couple things that we've seen in the past from some clients that they've had some tight budgets. We've worked around it and we've seen some mistakes that they used. First off, we see a lot of clients that will come to us and say, we've been boosting random Facebook posts and they've been doing really well. The problem being, without targeting, it's like essentially burning money. Again, back to the quick wins. Sometimes you see some boosted posts that do really well, but at the end of the day, you're not able to target and there's no really key objective. And so generally speaking, burning or boosting random Facebook posts is essentially burning money. Now, the other piece is we need to be careful of overpaying for website development. You need to start lean. So there's some really great agencies out there that will do it for under a certain rate. But if you want to start really lean, use platforms like Squarespace, Wix, or WordPress with templates just to get the ball rolling. We see a lot of people that we talk to that are a lot of agencies, right? That a business or a person will come to them. They have a very limited budget. They're starting this off. They don't have a lot of money. And someone convinces them that they need to invest essentially all of their budget into a really nice looking website. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. What I am saying is you need to think about your budget from an overall perspective of get something functional out there and improve as it scales instead of over investing in the very beginning. Not saying to overinvest in the very beginning, but if we're talking about someone that is in a very lean position that does not have a lot of cash to spend, we need to be careful about what we spend our money on. Now, third, a lot of companies ignore organic marketing. We know that paid ads are great and they can work, but free traffic sources should be maximized first in the long run, which is very, very big. Now, if we're looking for free and low cost marketing strategies that work, I have basically 5 recommendations, actually 4 recommendations that you can try, you can do. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but they're all free. First, blogging, SEO, and local SEO are long-term free strategies that help small businesses get discovered. Now, there is a paid element, right? You can hire an SEO firm. Sometimes that can help, sometimes that can work. But if we're starting out and talking about lean strategies, we know that these are things that you can do on your own, that you can start getting the ball rolling at least. We saw a small local bakery. They started writing blog posts about the best cupcakes in town. And within about 6 months, they actually saw a 60% increase in organic traffic just by doing that, which is absolutely incredible. Now, 2 tools that we recommend that are free SEO tools is Google Keyword Planner and Ubersuggest. You can find what your audience is searching for and develop content centered around that. Now, when we look at social media and organic engagement, instead of trying to be on every platform, we need to focus on where your audience is most active. So we saw a boutique shop once in Oklahoma City. They essentially used TikTok to show behind the scenes product creation and went viral, driving 3 times more sales, which in the long run, it probably took a little bit of time to build that. They probably understood what their audience was looking for. But at the end, they realized that their audience was looking for behind the scenes product creation and it went viral. Now, the action tip here is consistency is key, right? Everyone will say a certain amount of postings, but if you can start between 2 to 5 posts per week and actively engage with your followers, it's going to go further than sporadic posting. Now, the third element that a lot of people forget about is we need to look at how do we leverage user generated content referrals, right? So, what can we do to encourage customers to share photos, reviews, or experiences with your brand? So, we saw a small coffee shop around here. They ran a tag us in your morning coffee challenge and they gained about 500 followers in a month, which was really fascinating. The action tip here is incentivize UGC small rewards. So, use discounts, giveaways, or shout outs and at least give some small reward and incentivize user generated content because it's gonna be a lot more effective in the long run. Now, we touched on this earlier, but email marketing, right? It's low cost, high ROI. We've seen statistics that say emails are 40 times more effective than social media for customer retention. And we actually saw a local gym that set up an automated welcome email for new members, and they saw a 25% increase in long term memberships. So the tip here is use free email marketing tools like MailChimp. You can get up to 500 subscribers for free and grow your list with exclusive offers. Makes a big deal. Now, the next question that we get a lot is how do we grow without ad spend, right? We need to look at community and strategic partnerships, but how do we actually do it without spending a dollar in ads? First, we should look at partnering with other small businesses. Cross promotions and collaborations are free and highly effective. So we've seen everything from a local yoga studio partnering with a nearby juice bar. And essentially what they did was they offered a yoga plus smoothie bundle, which drives sales for both businesses. So it's a win-win situation for both businesses. So the action tip here is identify 3 to 5 complementary businesses. And in your mind, think about what a simple partnership would be like, and then pitch that simple partnership. See where you can go for both of you to provide a win-win situation. Now, you can utilize local events and networking to build your business as well. So while we're in the digital age, face-to-face networking still drives business. And for example, we saw a small local business that gave a free workshop at a local Home Depot, and it actually landed them 10 plus new contracts, which in the long run was a great return on investment, strictly based on the fact that they had some prep time. They spent about an hour to 2 hours providing the workshop, and then obviously they got 10 plus new contracts. So the action tip here is attend local business meetups, chamber of commerce events, and even farmer markets maybe to build brand awareness depending on what your business is. Now, an underrated aspect of this is leveraging free press and pre-R, right? So we know media coverage equals free marketing with massive credibility. So we've seen one of our clients got featured in Best New Restaurants article after submitting a press release, which drove hundreds of new customers. All they had to do was submit a press release after they were featured, and it was absolutely incredible. So the big thing here is we need to be careful about what we submit. But if you have a big milestone or event, submit a press release to local newspapers and blogs and try to drive engagement through free press and PR. Now, I've mentioned this before, I think in a previous episode, but one of the largest success stories from a shoestring budget, if we call it that, would be Dollar Shave Club. There's actually reports that they started with a $4,500 budget, and what they did was they used an authentic, low-budget viral video that resulted in millions of views and $1 billion acquisition. Obviously, the $4,500 budget just didn't turn into $1 billion overnight, but what it did was it set the stage and the presence for a long-term $1 billion acquisition. They proved that a strong creative message beats a big budget any day. Not saying that big budgets aren't bad, but at the end of the day, if we're very effective and we need to be cost effective, we need to be very strong and creative when it comes to our message. So if your product and messaging are strong, you don't need millions to succeed. Now, as we're concluding, here's essentially the playbook of what we've talked about. First, we need to prioritize high impact, low cost strategies. So look at SEO, email, social, partnerships. Second, we know that consistency matters more than budget. So even small actions compound over time. We need to leverage community partnerships and press to grow without spending big on ads. And creativity beats money. You don't need $1 million budget to stand out. So the final thought here is marketing on a budget is less about what you spend and more about how you strategically invest your time and effort. So the question here is, what low-cost marketing strategy has worked with you? Let me know in the comments, send me a DM. I'm always interested. And if you found this helpful, I'd highly recommend that you subscribe for more no fluff, actionable marketing advice. And if you need help refining your marketing budget or your marketing strategy budget friendly, reach out to us at Club Creative. We're a local marketing consulting firm. Would love to help you. Thanks for tuning in to Club Conversations, where marketing meets strategy without breaking the bank.